All right, good afternoon, everyone. So, today I'm going to make this short video for you just to describe how to graph now a cube root function. So, we talked, the past couple days about how to graph a square root function. Today, we're going to talk about how do I graph a cube root function. They aren't much different, but with cube roots now, we're talking about the third root. So, like square roots, right, it's what times itself equals a number. With a cube root, it's what times itself 3 times equals a number. Right, so you can see our basic function here is just this y equals the cube root of x. And again, just like other things, when I don't know what something looks like, I'm going to make myself a table. The key, though, with cube roots, I'm now allowed negative numbers. If you think a negative number times itself 3 times will stay negative, right? I have 3 negatives, so that means the final result will be negative. So I am allowed, right? I'm still going to pick 0, -1, and 1. The other two nice numbers that have nice cube roots are -8 and +8. So the cube root of 8 is 2, cube root of 1 is 1, 0, 0. So these are just -1 and -2. So if I go ahead and plot my points here, I've got 0, 0, 1, 1, -1, -1. And so if you just plotted those 3 points, this certainly looks like it's just the line y equals x, right? So that's why it's important here. You notice that I pick 5 points. I picked 5 points on purpose, knowing, right, that if I only picked 3, this thing doesn't look as much like as what it should. So now if I go over to -8, and then down to -2, here's one, and then over here to +8, and up to 2. So this thing kind of looks like this little squiggle. Right? So if you notice, it looks a lot like x to the third if I turned it on its side, right? Because those are inverses of each other. So now, instead of going crazy and going back through what if I subtract 1 on the outside? What if I subtract 1 on the inside? What we're going to do is we're just going to jump straight to the general form. Right? So the general form of a cube root, there we go, general form of a cube root function looks just like this. A cube root instead of square root, x minus h plus k. Now there is a big difference here in terms of what does the h and k stand for, because with a square root it was a starting point, but with a cube root you notice there is no like start and stop. So here what I do, or what I call hk now, is just your center. It's the middle point. If I go back and I look in this example, 0, 0, right, which was right here, that is the point where it's symmetric on either side. So I just call it the center. And again, here, similar idea. A is going to tell you, right, how steep or shallow. Right? And again, if you won't be surprised, we have a table that we can set up to graph these things. Right? So if we take a look at an example here, let's say I have f of x equals 2 cube root of x minus 1 minus 2. Right? So the first thing I'm going to do is find the center. And so the center point for this particular one will be at 1, -2. So over here 1, down to -2. There's my center point. So now the process to create the table looks very, very similar to the other ones. Here I have d. Here I have the cube root of d. And then the cube root of d times a. So for my distance, again, I'm going to pick 1 and 8. So this is 1 and 2. And then multiplying by a, I get 2 and 4. The key, though, is now this represents both left and right. So with the cube root function, I can go both to the left and to the right because negatives are allowed. So now from this center point, I'm going to go to the right one and up 2. The key, though, is on the other side, I'm going to do the opposite. So I'm going to go to the left one and I'm going to go down 2. Right? So these numbers tell you rise to the right. What am I saying here? That's right. I'm going to the right. That's my rise. If I go to the left, it's how far I'm going to go down. Right? Because of this symmetry. So then again from here, I'm going to go to the right 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. 8. And I'm going to go up 4. And then here, I'm going to go to the left 8. 2, 4, 6, 8. And I'm going to go down 4. So I'm actually like running into my table. So when I graph this guy, he's going to look something like that. Right? So to the right, you're going to follow that last column. And to the left, you're going to do the opposite of that column. Right? So let's say A was negative. Right? So these numbers in the last column were negative. Well, as I go to the right, I would go down. And as I go to the left, I would go up. So I hope that is helpful. We will go over this in some more detail next week when I'm going to meet with everybody one-on-one. So I'm going to put that schedule out tomorrow. Even though we rotate out, you'll have the schedule. All right. I hope everybody has a great weekend, and I'll talk to you guys all soon. Bye.